It's 9-3 in the favor of MarineLorD all time, but for Beasty, this one game means a qualification for the Final Four. As we hop into Canal, right side we'll have MarineLorD with the red color and using the Chinese civ, and on the left it is going to be Beastyqt with the Malians using color yellow.
So this is what sets this map apart from the rest. You could say it is a bit of a drier river, dry-ish river, but actually it's more like a canal. You don't have a lot of maneuvering space, but it does cut off the map pretty effectively. Docks are up first, Beasty dropping it, and in an equal manner, you'll see this from MarineLorD on the other side. They'll also be meeting up right in the center with their scouts. Crossing streams.
So the key thing with this map is that the density of the shorefish increases as you get closer to the middle of the canal. So the closer you have your dock to the middle, the more effective it will be fishing-wise. Obviously, that's more of a contested area as well. So both players kind of opting for identical positions, more on the back line. Not a lot of fish available, but it's also going to be a safer spot to work with.
So I'm very interested in Malian's entry, because you've seen Chinese from MarineLorD and how he actually opens up his game, but what will Beasty make of his introduction here on the Malians? To be able to collect a lot of gold. You'll see the pit mine set up pretty early on. Both docks are in pretty similar positions. A bit of walling from MarineLorD will prevent a quick cross through the center of this canal, as it is kind of shallow water. So you can move across it, but not through the entirety of the canal. You're forced to move through down the middle. So the map positioning will be quite important. But what about that trade? What's the potential of it so far?
So the idea behind the trade here, I feel, is that first of all, the trading posts are pretty far away from your base, so you get pretty good return per trip. And I think the bigger factor is that if MarineLorD were to play a standard Chinese eco-focused game, 2TC Song, similar to how he played Dry River in the previous game, then you can get away with the trade, especially if you can protect that with a couple of warrior scouts potentially. It's not like MarineLorD is going to harass much of it, and even just a couple of trips will pay really well for you. So that's the fundamental concept of the trade over here. Remains to be seen if or how MarineLorD wants to contest such a move from Beasty. And it also remains to be seen whether Beasty goes for it, because he could opt for alternative pathways, like, for instance, going for warrior scouts, being annoying and trying to take down the dock of MarineLorD in the first place.
That's a very good point. Given how effective those docks will be at just gathering up a lot of food early on, because there's a lot of sheep that you can use, but it's not something that you can use for a long time. And there is the barracks being dropped by Beasty and the Malians. No such thing on the opposite end by MarineLorD. So I guess we're getting some sort of answer here, Lita.
Yes, indeed. A couple of Dunzos will be made by Beasty. Now, MarineLorD, he's starting to pick up some resources for Feudal Age, but I don't think he's gonna be there in time. If the scout is pulled, if villagers are pulled, and Dunzos as well, this dock could be torched down in time.
Unexpected to hear the barracks. And there they are. The Dunzos are coming up right behind. The tower also to support them. Should be enough to push the villagers back before they torch the tower down, right? There it is. Javelin being thrown in. That'll alert the vills, who will fall back. Dunzo with his big kite shield in hand. Good positioning. Already starting to torch down that dock. Tower, let's hope it won't be too far away, but if anything, can start firing off at those fishing ships, which, to be honest, would not be too bad of a trade.
Yeah, I feel like the tower is pretty far away, so it's not going to do much against those fishing ships. Now, don't forget, most of the shorefish is to the middle, which is the angle in which the tower is placed at. So this is going to deny like 70-80% of the fish available for fishing ships, but it's not like it's going to completely shut them down. There is some shorefish to the right. The second tower, though, looking much better, and you see Beasty's gonna double down on this. that's probably the best move because, as we discussed, that initial tower, it's not going to be a perfect solution by any means. The second tower is what's going to provide that real firepower to shut down the fishing eco with.
It's a lot of damage done here to the early economy of MarineLorD. You want to gather up as much food, as many resources as possible, just because you want to use up that big power of the Chinese. Tower is almost up here. Will be in time for the spearmen to arrive from MarineLorD. He's got 10 overall military. Now a 10th spearman coming out. Bit of damage done to the scout. Just not enough military for Beastyqt. But he's going to have to use the towers intelligently, really, to survive here. Dock, close to burning off. Scout spotted for a moment. He's going to have to fall back. Might be awaiting a big fight here. But I guess it's way more production for MarineLorD. Setting up for the fight.
I don't know about this for MarineLorD. He's investing very heavily into this 14 spearmen he's going for. He's going to be up against 2 towers. Should have no trouble taking these down. I feel like the worrisome detail here is that he's investing so much into this. And Beasty's forcing him into such a gigantic investment with a much lower cost.
At least the tower now is burning up and there's no way to repair it at this point. The Vil has to walk back. Bit of damage done. No real eco damage as all the fishing ships were saved. That's a big advantage that Beasty's going to be, or a big situation that Beasty's going to be happy with. Denying the dock also, MarineLorD, well done. The Vil is going to be pushed back, and there's enough spearmen here to continue on with the work, but you don't want to lose them against the Dunzos on the other side. Good micro from Beastyqt just to delay things. Maybe splitting up the army was not the wisest of decisions, but there's no reinforcements yet for Beastyqt. First spearman is going to go down, but the Dunzos are low on health. The tower in the back still remains alive, but it's a big fight with the flank also for MarineLorD. Should be an easy cleanup.
Yeah, MarineLorD cleans. This also means that this dock isn't going up here for Beastyqt, or at least that seems to be the case unless reinforcements come in. Feudal Age timings will be next to identical for the 2 players, and the walls are still intact in the middle. That's the big thing. So Beastyqt cannot get any combat ships out there to contest the fishing eco of his opponent right now.
Tower providing some solace as MarineLorD hits the Feudal Age. And an extra upgrade coming in just for the armor. Beastyqt taking a bit of time before he gets his own veterancy upgrade in. Dock is still alive, but at what cost really playing around it? They're both trying to get into a better position with their own spearman fights. But there's so many more streaming from MarineLorD.
Yeah, MarineLorD managed to yoink the villager. So there is no chance for Beastyqt to finish this dock with the villagers he had on the front line. He would have to pull new ones, but now the junk is out. Beastyqt's gonna get pushed away from this, and this is the Chinese power. Supervising that barracks and just making sure that you have the adequate output of spearmen here came in clutch. He just outnumbered Beastyqt, made sure that the dock never goes up, and now he has some spearmen to harass the opponent's dock with. Beastyqt is down to just 4 Dunzos. He's gonna have to start investigating the combat ships, but there is a wall in his way that he doesn't really have the tools to get through.
And this all works out so well, as you say, for supervising the barracks, but also the fact that none of MarineLorD's fishing ships were taken out. Both the towers were a bit out of position. The dock stayed up the entire time. The fishing ships were able to push away deeper into the canal, protect themselves behind that wall of spears. And now they're just back to good old business. MarineLorD is spiking up in his food income twice as high as what Beastyqt has currently. And it's getting quite expensive to get your Dunzos out to fight off your enemy spearmen. Unusual from what we've seen so far, given the fact that warrior scouts, have been the MO of Malians in general when we see them so far in our entire playday, really. But the Barbertons being dropped at the south by the forest that'll protect your flank close to the dock. MarineLorD really playing every advantage he has.
Yeah, this is going to start looking grim soon for Beasty, because now MarineLorD is in Song Dynasty, so there's gonna be that passive advantage of building up villagers a little faster. It's not going to be a disaster completely for Beasty. He still has the Malian eco power, and he could, in theory, try to play a semi-passive game on water, just maintain some presence, try to go for Castle Age, secure the relics, secure an extra pit mine with that. But this game isn't really going as he planned or as he hoped it would so far.
Nope, not at all. Spearman pushing forward here into the sacred site. Dock being pressured on the top site. I'm wondering what the Spearmen can actually do. Are they trying to cut off what is left of the army? Should be able to spot those Dunzos in just a moment. There's an advantage. Dunzos should be able to win this engagement, especially with an extra bit of reinforcement coming in on the top side. Refreshing those javelins just a second here. They'll chuck in, maybe able to kill a couple of those spearmen, but advantage still clear, though. Food-wise, Beasty's able to bring it all back. Barbican might be the refuge that the spearmen are really running back towards to stay alive.
Yeah, so far, Beasty is doing what he has to. He's going into Castle Age. He's now going to encounter a couple of Chukonudos, so he's gotta be cautious. MarineLorD isn't far away behind when it comes to stacking up resources, so when he sees Beasty reach Castle Age, he should think about his own Castle Age timing as well. But for the time being, Beasty is going to beat him to Castle Age, and that's the first step towards a recovery here for Beasty.
If anything, MarineLorD wants to keep those Chuganu alive as long as possible and amass as many of them as possible. Yeah, Dunzos, great. They got more health and, deal well with melee armor, but when you have a ranged unit like the Chuganu, well, you're going to be able to clear out your opponent's main unit currently because there was no swap onto warrior scouts. See a big fight here between the junks and the ships on the opposite end for Beasty the Malians, but it's more of a focus on the dock, pulling the attention away as the spearmen keep on with that fire damage. And then one more ship should come out before the dock starts to, there we go, be set on in flames. And indeed it is. Junks doing damage to the back, but Malian's trying to push forward. Vil will be taken out. Can he do some work against the junks? Yes. Just a bit here. Trying to push still forward. Fishing ships are being targeted. Down a half HP, but still alive. And losing only one ship. The dock being lost is not going to be great for Beasty. He has one in the back, I believe. But the wall will be taken out. Its engagement, Beasty starting to feel more confident in taking.
Yeah, Beasty tried to just stack up demos to blast his way through those walls, but then he realized that he can just burn his way through with the Dunzos, and now this is looking pretty decent. He's about to push the water, beat his opponent to Castle Age, and those demos, they could find some great value. Oh, great reaction by MarineLorD, but the first demo...
Next one is centered. It's so good, but a demo on the other side brings down the ship, and this might slow the momentum down for Beasty. He needs more ship in productions, but unfortunately, the docks are a bit too far away, and I'm not sure if there's more than one even left in this case. The Juganu are clearing out the rest of those Dunzos, and that's what we're talking about, man. Keep those Juganu up. 15 of them will be able to do a lot of work, and the clock tower is going to go down.
Yeah, the demo looked so good, yet it just failed to deliver the punch that Beasty needed it to deliver. Now the Chukunu will start moving out, combat ships disappeared, and Castle Age is coming in for MarineLorD as well. If Beasty loses his fishing eco, his eco deficit is going to be rather problematic.
There's the Castle Age. This is going to be a tough one here for MarineLorD. He's equalizing in terms of tech. And I just want to take your eyes off into Beasty's tech upgrades so far that are definitely lacking in comparison to what MarineLorD has in this moment. Gives more advantage now to these ranged units that have extra damage, extra pierce to deal with those Malian spears. Monasteries being brought up too.
It's a lovely detail. MarineLorD knows fully well that one of the things that Beasty has going for him, or one of the things that Beasty had going for him in the previous game, was relics. He wants to make sure that Beasty's faster castle age time doesn't translate into relic lead. And he's going to go for his own monastery pretty fast. You gotta be cautious with the demos on these narrow causeways. Could easily end up losing your entire fleet with the traffic jam.
Oh no, they're gonna trade 1-to-1? No, it's so close to the fishing ships and it only does a bit of damage. Only one ship going down. Another fire raft coming up right behind it. 1-to-1 snipe, good shot, but again, all of Beasty's fire ships have been connecting, doing damage, but not actually getting much in the way of kills.
Yeah, and no kills means basically nothing for those demo ships, because there's a dock nearby. Fishing ships will heal up, so those demos, as you said, they all connected, but they never really managed to cut into the eco lead that MarineLorD has had. And now MarineLorD is going very heavily on the Chu Canoe department, up to 27. Also ready to start pushing the naval front. Has just one junk and one war junk. On the other side, though, Beasty has a single ballista ship, that's all. He needs to fight this, otherwise he's going to lose the fishing eco.
Probably so. The Jukonu away. Look at how much damage they're doing also against the ships. They're really limited, but the archers are coming in for the rescue. Good side flank, and there are those warrior scouts that are coming in and might be able to wrap around, but you got to be careful. You got to take a good timed engagement. There's no ships here to help support and soak up damage, and this really clearing things out. One more of those scouts alive. The archers have to pull back. Now the junk is also doing damage on top of the archers. Beasty pushed back for just a bit.
Yeah, the Chucanoos have lower range than those archers do, but you gotta respect each other's potential of a demo ship hit here. Both players have demos in queue or out there on the river already. So you gotta be very cautious on where you place your army close to that river front, and that's something that both of these players know right now.
37 archers for Beastyqt versus 32 for MarineLorD. Not only is it about numbers, but also, like you said, about the range. Ships, fishing ships in particular, being cleaned up. More and more hit onto Beasty's economy. And so far, the food is dropping to less than half of what MarineLorD is putting up. But this sneak attack might be great, hitting that wood line. A lot of archers that are in there, they're going to be able to range all of it, pushing right on through. The Barbican, though, is close by, can be supporting, but you're going to need to run on in ASAP. Relic also spotted the quick Wololo and a quick snipe coming in from the archers. Beautifully played from Beasty. Look at that micro, focus down on the villagers. More and more going down and trying to equalize the numbers. There's going to be army from MarineLorD to rotate back into the base, but a lot of damage been done eco-wise. Idling quite a few of those vills. He's going to keep it all rolling. There's so many vills that are set around that gold, and they're going to have to fall back to their TC. Can any army be cleared out by Beasty?
There goes most of the eco lead that MarineLorD has had. Not just when it comes to villager losses, also the idle time that there is on those gold miners. You see sofas running around, picking off an Imperial official potentially. And these archers, they're committing because they understand that at this point, sacrificing these archers is good trade if you can do substantial eco damage with them. Now, villagers actually make an escape to the northern side, and now Chukonus catch up, so it remains to be seen whether losing all these units for the villager picks that they had is going to be sufficient or not.
There's still quite a few archers that are alive on the other side of the map, so despite all of this, Beasty has kept up his massing, and if he can keep clearing out those Shugonus on the other side, it could definitely be helpful, but there's just a lot of damage being flung in between. That archer is being cleaned up. They should be able to clear up the Shugonus pretty, I guess, efficiently. I don't know how many of them would be left by the end of it. There's still reinforcements streaming in for MarineLorD. 4v5, I guess, fight, but there you go. Those reinforcements will be just enough for MarineLorD to clean up Beasty's armies, but despite all of that, there's 40 archers that are still on the field for Beasty. It's insane the amount of protection behind this.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just Malian's power. Beasty also has 2 relics. He's capturing all 3 sacred sites. So he's going to have a lot of passive gold income. Uses the Frimba garrison to turn that into archers. And you really have to wonder if a couple of Nest of Bees wouldn't be beneficial for MarineLorD. Like, right now he's just playing Chukonus, which is nice and cool, but You're playing a numbers game against the Malians, and right now you're losing that numbers game. You have to change something up, and a couple of siege engines could possibly help you accomplish that.
So many sacred sites have been picked up in the meantime by Beasty, who's spreading himself all around the map. Even a victory is approaching at some point. Everything's being contested, but a big fight around the forest. Look at the archers putting in the poison damage that is all over the place. And the Malians will take it unexpected with unknown potential. They walk all over the Chinese despite a great opening and mid-game for MarineLorD. This is quite impressive for Beasty, who also now secures himself a top 4 position in Golden League 2.
Beasty had his fate in his hands, and he did deliver in game number 5 here. We talked about this prior to the game, that with the Chinese, you expect a similar game plan for MarineLorD as he had in the previous game on Dry River. With Beasty's Malians, there was a little bit more of a wildcard potential, and we have seen that. There was the Dunso aggression at the beginning, didn't really work out for Beasty, was a tough spot, but then Castle Age is where you really start unlocking the power of the Malians, and Beasty did just that, went for an early Castle Age, and started leveraging those bonuses that the Malians have when it comes to the 3rd pit mine, when it comes to the Farimba garrison, poison arrows on the archers, and that just slowly snowballed the game, despite him being down on the eco department for most of the game.
Incredible. A close game. Honestly, incredible series here between both of our players. You see, in terms of pure eco, MarineLorD collecting so much more food, but it's just still not enough. I was very impressed by the fact that Beasty had a massive archers, lost it, but was able to do enough eco and army damage that by the time it had delayed things enough for those 2 minutes, had built up an even bigger archer army behind it. It's the power of the Malian poison arrows also that you don't really get to see unless you have these equal numbers engagements, even against Shugonu, even at a close range. Beautiful.